Everyone has that one person they can't seem to forget, even if they want to. A person you always remember, even if they brought you pain, is called a first love. This story is about a girl who changes because of her first love. With dark skin and dull glasses, her name is Nam. She isn't extremely ugly, but because she doesn't know how to dress up and acts awkward, she is considered one of the ugly girls at school. The senior student Nam has a one-sided crush on is Shone. Since Shone, whom she secretly watches every time she goes to school, is a handsome boy, her fellow ugly friends encourage her by saying, "A handsome guy like him will never like an ugly girl like you." Nam and her family of 3 run a guest house combined with a Western restaurant. Because of the food, and also because Nam's father lives in America, foreign guests frequently visit their restaurant. One day, while Nam is out shopping, her crush suddenly jumps right down in front of her from a mango tree with a bunch of mangoes. Since Shone gives the bunch of mangoes he just picked to Nam the moment he sees her, Nam is left floating on cloud 9. In reality, Shone is just handing out mangoes to everyone he meets on the street. Even though Nam and her friends had to attend an all-girls school since elementary, this year they are happy because they moved to a school with senior big brothers. Like typical middle school girls, they calculate their love matches and read fortunes to see who will end up marrying whom. Even at that time, Nam only thinks about Shone, whom she likes. Because Nam usually entertains foreign guests at the restaurant, she is great at English, but she flunks hard in other subjects. During her English class, where she is already good, she sneaks out of the classroom and passes by senior brother Shone's classroom, both subtly and obviously. Since Shone is popular at school, a lot of girls like him. Facing heavy competition, Nam, the underdog, keeps daydreaming day after day without missing a single day. One day, Nam's father sends gifts for his 2 daughters and his wife through their uncle, who happened to be traveling. He also leaves a message that the daughter who gets first place will get to study abroad in America. To study in America and catch Shone's attention, Nam is about to go all out to climb from 30th place to first place. The next day, while Nam and her friends are buying cold drinks, a school basketball player cuts in front of them to buy first. Acting like he can do whatever he wants just because athletes get priority, Nam and her group get into an argument with him. Since Shone is also an athlete, he bypasses the others, buys 4 cold drinks, and gives them to Nam's group. Because of that, the player goes to provoke Shone, and they get into a massive brawl. When Nam hears the news about the fight, she rushes there, thinking it happened because he bought drinks for them. When they arrive, no one is there anymore, and they only find a single button dropped and left behind by Shone. Nam keeps the button, she buys medicine and goes to give it to Shone. When Shone calls her by her name and says thank you, Nam almost loses her mind with joy because her crush knows her name. After that, Nam and her group buy a book called 20 Ways to Get a Boyfriend, which is currently popular at school. If you follow the 20 steps in the book, your crush will like you back. The first method is writing your crush's name on the stars. Another one is hypnotizing your crush. So Nam tries to hypnotize Shone to make him turn around and look at her. When Shone turns back to look just as her friend teases him, Nam thinks she has succeeded. The next step is giving a heartwarming gift, so Nam goes to give him chocolate. Shone's motorcycle is completely filled with gifts given by girls from the entire school. Nam's friends take all those gifts away. Unfortunately, because the weather is too hot, the chocolates melt all over the motorcycle. Just like Nam, another person who gives a gift and ends up failing miserably is Faye. She gives a homemade cake as a gift. Aside from being very pretty, the dramatic and coquettish Faye pretends to twist her ankle and even hitches a ride on the back of Shone's motorcycle. Like that, spending the whole year trying and failing, they reach the school holidays. During the holidays, the friends arrive to doll up Nam, who wants to go see Shone. To make the dark-skinned Nam fairer, they apply a facial mask using every fruit available, including tamarind paste. They take Nam, who now looks like a jaundice patient, to Shone's parents' sports equipment shop. When Shone sees Nam, he actually thinks she has hepatitis. Just because he asks if she is sick, Nam is deeply satisfied, and her holidays become completely fulfilled with happiness. When school reopens, Nam and her group of friends join the dance team for the school festival. Because they usually handpick only the pretty ones, Nam and her friends look like a bunch of losers even before submitting their names. Since the pretty Faye also makes sarcastic remarks at them, they get into a fight, and the ugly Nam and her group have to leave before even registering. Because of that, Nam and her friends end up joining the drama club, which nobody else wants to join. Luckily, the stage crew handyman and photographer of the drama club turns out to be Shone. They have to perform the Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs play in English. In the drama club where only mismatched people have gathered, Nam, who is the best at English, is immediately chosen as Snow White. The one who will save her with a kiss is an ugly prince. Since they have to do their own makeup for the play, the whole crew looks terrifying. Therefore, the drama teacher asks Pin, a senior from Shone's class, for help with the makeup. Because Nam, who has gone without makeup the entire time, gets dolled up, her natural beauty surfaces, and since she is not wearing her glasses, she looks refreshingly different. While everyone is saying Snow White is beautiful, Shone, who is taking photos, reacts normally, leaving Nam feeling anxious and fluttered. On the dress rehearsal day, Nam gets startled when she sees the prince who will wake the sleeping Snow White with a kiss. When she is about to suddenly fall off the stage, Shone catches her. Although it is a sweet, heart-fluttering moment for Nam, Shone just walks away normally. On the performance day, students from the entire school go to watch only the beauties at the dance show. In Nam's play, there is no audience, and the few people there are asleep. Shone doesn't come to watch the play either, but there is one person who genuinely likes Nam's play. After the play is over, a bitten apple arrives for Nam along with a note saying it was taste tested to see if it was poisonous. While she assumed Shone was watching the girls at the dance show instead of the play, Shone is actually busy struggling with a football match. Since there was no one to cheer during the live show of the play, the teacher replays it on the school TV. Shone's best friend, Top, just transferred to this school this year. He is a playboy who has even asked for a phone number from a 5th grade kid, and now he has his eyes on Nam. Shone stops him, saying Nam is still young, so he shouldn't mess with her. Because of the Snow White play, Nam becomes famous at school. Now that she wears contact lenses, she looks even prettier than before. Top, who just transferred to the school, also turns out to be a popular boy, and every girl wants to take a photo with him. 2 drum majors from the marching band even end up breaking their arms and legs while fighting over Top. Since the teacher who stepped in to break up the fight also got dragged into it, they need someone to be the new drum major before the festival. By pure coincidence, the teacher sees Nam using a badminton racket to knock down a shuttlecock stuck high up, so she recruits Nam to be the drum major. Nam, however, lacks confidence in her ability to practice enough within the 2 weeks leading up to sports day. Even though she feels discouraged while practicing throwing and catching the baton, she automatically gains inner strength just by looking at Shone. After practicing hard all by herself, Nam transforms into the beautiful drum major of the marching band. Shone takes photos of her, and Top falls head over heels for Nam. Nam, who was a nobody last year, becomes a beautiful girl who receives a mountain of gifts on this year's Valentine's Day. Shone also walks straight up to Nam, holding a rose that he pulled out by the roots. However, against her expectations, he says someone else asked him to give it to her and walks away. With her hopes completely shattered, Nam feels heartbroken and sad. When she gets home, a piece of paper falls out from inside the gift. It is a note inviting her to meet on the school's top floor the next day at 5 in the evening. While Nam waits excitedly, Shone gradually walks up the stairs. Just as she is about to speak to him, Top arrives and reveals that he was the one who sent the note. While Nam is completely at a loss for words, Top takes it upon himself to make her his girlfriend, saying that if she doesn't speak back, he will assume she accepts him. Because she is afraid of hurting his feelings if she rejects Shone's best friend, Nam just stays quiet like this. When going to school, Top invites her to ride on his motorcycle. Nam refuses at first, but when she learns that they are going to watch Shone's football match, she happily hitches a ride. When Shone, who is playing football, comes over to ask for water, Nam hands him her water bottle. Nam is left floating on cloud 9 just from him taking her water bottle. Since Top and Shone are best friends who go everywhere together, Nam always tags along with Top, just because she wants to see Shone. Because of her actions, Shone ends up being the third wheel among the 3 of them, but Nam can't think about anything else besides wanting to see Shone. Even when she trips and falls, she doesn't even acknowledge Top, who is piggybacking her, and is just happy because Shone is holding her bag. One night, Top kisses Nam right in front of Shone. Only then does Nam snap back to reality and realize she has a boyfriend, so she breaks up with Top. Because she also reveals that she already likes someone else, the playboy Top ends up heartbroken. Shone and Top had previously promised each other that one would never like a girl the other liked. Since Top doesn't want to face the situation of seeing his best friend together with the girl he loves, he asks for that promise once again. Shone gives his promise once more. At the end of the school year, Nam gets first place just as she worked hard for, earning her the chance to go to America. On the last day of school, she decides to finally do the one thing she never dared to do this whole time. Nam has loved Shone for 3 years without being able to confess. To make him notice her, she auditioned for the dance team, studied hard, and even acted in the play just to meet him. Her efforts to become a drum major because of him have spanned 3 long years. Instead of all that, the thing she should have done most from the very beginning was simply to confess. In the end, Nam confesses her feelings, but she sees that Pin has written, "I love you," on Shone's shirt. Realizing that he is now dating Pin, Nam is officially heartbroken after 3 years. Right then, Shone is selected for the provincial football team, so he has to leave immediately. While preparing to do what needs to be done before leaving, Shone takes out the chocolate box he kept for years from the freezer. It is the chocolate box Nam gave him, and because he knew who gave it, Shone has kept it until this day. He also has a diary book where he wrote down everything about Nam. Shone has loved Nam since her days as an ugly girl. He knew Nam was approaching him using the book on how to get your crush to like you back, and Nam had already succeeded before she could even use any of the methods. He also recorded every single look of hers when she dolled up for the play. Even though he knew she looked extremely beautiful when she dressed up, his guilty conscience made it hard for him to confess. He was also incredibly happy the first time they held hands, but he had to let go quickly for fear that others would notice. The one who bit the apple and gave it to her was also him. Just as he always watched over Nam attentively, he even grew a rose himself to give to her. But on the day he gave it, he lacked the courage, his heart raced too fast, and he accidentally said someone else asked him to give it. When he was about to confess, Top beat him to it, making him a step too late again. No matter what he did, he was always left behind, and because she was his friend's girl, he had to respect the boundary. Since he has to leave like this now, he leaves the book behind for Nam to confess his feelings. Like that, after 9 years have passed, Nam has become a nationally famous designer. Shone has also become a photographer, which is his passion. As one of the few Asian designers successful in America, Nam is invited to a show upon returning to Thailand. While sharing with the audience about how she ended up studying in America, she talks about her 3-year love story in the interview, starting from how she studied hard for her crush until she reached America. She concludes her story with the words that she became like this all because of Shone. There is also a special guest who was invited to that interview. He is none other than the photographer Shone. The two who missed each other in the past are finally able to reunite after a decade as true soulmates. This is certainly a happy ending for their student life story. If you also have a crush, I would advise you to confess without hesitation. Being trapped alone in your own thoughts is worse than being rejected, so I want to tell you to put the outcome aside and express your feelings. If you like this story, please like and subscribe. Thank you.